Listen to me for a moment. Every morning before the world pulls at your time, your peace, your energy, you have a few quiet seconds that can shape everything that comes after. Most people waste those seconds. They roll out of bed already defeated. They start their day carrying yesterday's weight into today's opportunity. But you don't have to live like that. I want you to hear me clearly. Your morning words set the tone for your entire day. And if you speak from a place of strength, discipline, and clarity, you shift the direction of your life. Because the voice you listen to first thing in the morning becomes the voice you follow all day long. So today, I'm giving you 6 things to tell yourself every morning. Not fancy lines, not empty motivation. These are reminders that ground you, strengthen you, and point you toward growth. Say them with intention. Say them like you mean them. Say them until they reshape how you walk into every room and how you handle every challenge. When you tell yourself that you are responsible for your attitude today, you take back control of your day before anything else has a chance to shape it. Most people wake up and instantly fall into reaction mode. They check their phone, see a message they weren't ready for, remember a problem they didn't solve yesterday, and let that set the tone. But when you remind yourself that your attitude is your choice, you step out of that cycle. You stop letting circumstances decide your mood. You stop giving outside voices the power to write the script of your day. You choose how you show up. This reminder anchors you. It forces you to slow down long enough to recognize that emotions may rise. Interruptions may come and unexpected challenges may appear, but none of that has authority over your spirit unless you hand it over. You can't control what people say. You can't control what happens around you, but you can control the way you interpret it, the way you respond to it, and the way you carry yourself through it. That's the heart of the message. You decide whether you meet the day with frustration or focus, irritation or patience, fear or calm. When you make this declaration in the morning, you begin to notice the moments where your old habits try to pull you backward. You catch yourself before you slip into negativity. You pause before you react out of frustration. You take a breath before you answer a challenge. You start responding instead of exploding. And that small shift becomes a difference maker. It helps you think more clearly. It protects your energy from getting drained too early. It teaches you how to stay steady when life tries to shake you. A responsible attitude doesn't mean forcing a fake smile or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to stand on what strengthens you instead of what weakens you. It means protecting your peace like it's something valuable because it is. It means remembering that your mindset influences your decisions. Your decisions influence your actions, and your actions shape your results. When your attitude is grounded, your day becomes more productive, your conversations become healthier, and your confidence becomes steadier. You walk into situations with a different posture. You stop letting small things throw you off. You stop losing hours to emotions that don't serve you. And little by little, your life shifts, not because everything around you changed, but because you changed the way you approached it. When you remind yourself each morning that you can handle whatever comes your way, you step into the day with a grounded sense of strength. You're not pretending the path will be smooth. You're not denying that challenges might show up. You're simply acknowledging that you have more resilience than you often give yourself credit for. Most people underestimate their own ability to adapt. They look at a problem and assume it's bigger than them. They forget how many things they've already survived, solved, and overcome. When you speak this truth to yourself, you stop shrinking in front of difficulties and start seeing them as something you can move through. This mindset shifts how you face pressure. Instead of being overwhelmed by the unknown, you approach it with clarity. You understand that even if you don't have every answer right now, you have the capacity to learn, adjust, and push forward. You trust your inner strength enough to stay steady. You trust your experience enough to make better decisions. You trust your patience enough to not rush into panic. It's a calm kind of confidence, not loud or aggressive, but steady and present. Throughout the day, situations will test you. A problem might disappoint you, plans might shift, a problem might show up at the worst possible time. But when you've already set the reminder in your mind that you can handle things, you're no longer caught off guard. You move differently. You slow your breathing. You think before reacting. You remind yourself that pressure doesn't define you, your response does. Even when things feel heavy, you learn to break them down into steps instead of letting them hit you all at once. This belief also pulls you away from relying too much on perfect circumstances. You no longer wait for the ideal moment, the perfect mood, or the easiest path. You learn to move even when the situation is uncomfortable. You find solutions instead of looking for escape routes. You become the type of person who stays balanced even when life is unpredictable. And over time, this habit strengthens you. You begin to trust yourself on a deeper level. You stop doubting your abilities. You stop questioning whether you're capable. You carry yourself with a quiet assurance. Even when challenges feel unfamiliar, you remind yourself that you faced the unknown before and made it through. And that reminder becomes a source of strength that steadies you no matter what the day brings. When you tell yourself in the morning that you are focused on what matters, you clear the noise before it even has a chance to take over. Most people wake up and step straight into distraction. They grab their phone, scroll through things that don't move them forward, jump into conversations that drain their energy, and spend the rest of the day trying to catch up. But when you begin your day by declaring your focus, you set a filter on your mind. You remind yourself that not everything deserves your attention, and not every voice earns a place in your head. This mindset helps you separate what is important from what is simply loud. The world will always offer you something to react to. Someone will always bring drama. Notifications will always try to pull you off track. But when your focus is anchored, those things lose their power. You're not pulled around by every small moment. You don't chase every urge. You don't let temporary emotions decide your direction. You know where your energy needs to go, and you protect it. As you move through your day, this focus becomes a kind of compass. It helps you choose your battles wisely. It keeps your time from being wasted on things that don't align with your goals. It makes you more intentional with your words, your conversations, and the commitments you accept. When your mind is clear on what matters, you stop entertaining distractions that used to derail your day. You start saying no more often, not out of coldness, but out of clarity. You stop being available for things that don't serve your growth. Staying focused also means giving yourself permission to slow down. You don't have to rush from one task to another without awareness. You learn to be present with what you're doing. When you're working, you work. When you're resting, you rest. When you're connecting with someone, you actually show up instead of mentally drifting somewhere else. That level of presence strengthens your work and deepens your relationships. The more you practice this mindset, the stronger it becomes. You begin to recognize what used to distract you. You catch yourself when your attention starts to wander. You redirect your mind back to what truly matters. Over time, this becomes the difference between a day that feels scattered and a day that feels purposeful. It becomes the difference between living on autopilot and living with intention. And slowly, without even realizing it, your life shifts because you chose every morning to value what actually deserves your attention. When you tell yourself each morning that you will use your time with intention, you step into the day with a sense of ownership. Time is the one thing you never get back, and yet it's the easiest thing to waste. Most people let their day run them. They drift from task to task, pulled by whatever feels urgent in the moment. They confuse movement with progress. But when you start the day with a clear reminder that your time is valuable, you slow down long enough to choose how you want to spend it instead of letting it disappear. This mindset keeps you aware of the small moments that add up. You recognize how quickly an hour can slip away in distraction. You notice how often you're pulled into conversations that don't help you grow. You start questioning whether certain habits, routines, or commitments deserve a place in your day. And when you make that shift, your decisions become sharper. You begin to treat your time like something precious instead of something unlimited. Throughout the day, this intention becomes your guide. You pause before saying yes to things that pull you off track. You choose to finish what's already in front of you instead of jump into something new. You give your energy to the tasks that actually matter, the ones that bring you closer to where you want to be. Even when interruptions come, you learn to regroup quickly because you know what your day is supposed to look like. You know what deserves your attention and what doesn't. Using your time with intention doesn't mean you have to be in constant motion. It also means knowing when to rest. It means giving yourself space to reset without guilt. Rest becomes part of your purpose, not a break from it. You stop confusing exhaustion with productivity. You understand that a clear mind works better than a busy one, and a rested body can carry more than a burned out one. As you practice this habit every morning, you begin to feel more in control of your life. Your days stop blending into each other. You stop feeling like you're always behind. You create structure where there used to be chaos. And over time, these intentional choices shape your growth. You look back and realize that small, consistent decisions created a meaningful shift, not because you rushed through life, but because you chose to value your minutes, protect your energy, and move with purpose every day. When you remind yourself each morning that you are becoming better than you were yesterday, you step into the day with a mindset rooted in growth rather than perfection. Most people judge themselves too harshly. They look at where they are and compare it to where they think they should be. They forget that progress is rarely loud. It often shows up in small choices, quiet shifts, and subtle improvements. When you tell yourself that you're becoming better, you free yourself from the pressure to be flawless and instead focus on the power of steady growth. This perspective changes how you see your journey. You stop expecting overnight breakthroughs and start appreciating the gradual steps that move you forward. You notice moments where you reacted differently than before. You see habits slowly improving. You recognize that your patience has grown, your understanding has deepened, and your resilience has strengthened. You stop viewing setbacks as proof that you're failing and start seeing them as part of the process. You learn from them instead of being discouraged by them. Throughout the day, this reminder becomes a quiet voice that encourages you to keep going. It pulls you back when you feel frustrated. It reminds you that growth takes time. It keeps you from giving up too quickly. When challenges show up, you approach them with more confidence because you know you've already grown through things you once thought you couldn't handle. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, clarity over distraction, or patience over impulse, you reinforce the idea that you're improving. This mindset also helps you be kinder to yourself. You stop speaking to yourself in ways you would never speak to someone you care about. You stop expecting perfection on the first try. You give yourself permission to learn, adjust, and try again. And that compassion creates space for even more growth. When you're not busy criticizing yourself, you have more energy to actually improve. Over time, these small daily reminders build momentum. You begin to see the long-term impact of small decisions. You begin to believe in your ability to evolve. You begin to trust the process even when the results aren't immediate. And one day, you look back and realize that the person you've become was shaped by these daily choices to grow, to learn, and to rise a little higher than the day before. It's this steady climb, this quiet consistency that transforms your life in ways you didn't notice at first but can feel deeply now. When you tell yourself each morning that you deserve a life built with purpose, you shift the foundation of how you see yourself. Too many people move through life feeling like they're supposed to settle. They shrink their dreams because they don't want to disappoint anyone. They lower their expectations because they've been told to be realistic. They walk around carrying the idea that meaning and fulfillment are things other people get to have. But when you wake up and remind yourself that you deserve purpose, you challenge every one of those limiting beliefs. This thought changes how you carry yourself. It pushes you to stop living on autopilot. You begin to question the routines you've accepted for years. You start paying attention to what drains you and what inspires you. You notice what brings you peace, what fuels your creativity, and what gives you a sense of direction. You stop settling for things that feel empty. You start leaning toward things that feel meaningful, even if the steps are small and quiet. Throughout the day, this belief becomes a filter for your choices. You become more protective of your time because you no longer feel obligated to pour your energy into things that don't align with your direction. You set boundaries more confidently because you understand that your well-being isn't optional. You treat your goals with more respect because you recognize they're not random wishes. They're connected to the life you're trying to build. When distractions come, you pause before letting them pull you away. When doubt rises, you remind yourself that progress is still possible. Believing you deserve purpose also softens the pressure you place on yourself. You stop thinking you need to have everything figured out at once. You realize purpose isn't one moment. It's a combination of choices, adjustments, lessons, and experiences you allow yourself to explore, to grow, to change direction when needed. You stop pretending everything is fine when it isn't. You start honoring what your heart has been trying to tell you for years. Over time, this simple morning reminder strengthens your confidence. You stand a little taller, you trust your instincts more, you stop asking for permission to evolve. You begin to build a life that feels intentional instead of accidental. And the more you walk in that direction, the more you feel the quiet confirmation that you were never meant to live small. You were meant to live with clarity, with meaning, with a sense of purpose that reflects who you truly are and who you're becoming. As you carry these reminders with you, understand that your morning words aren't just routines, they're anchors. They shape how you think, how you move, and how you rise above the noise around you. Every day gives you a chance to choose the mindset you walk with, and those choices slowly rebuild the way you see yourself and the way you face the world. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't rush past those first few quiet moments. Use them. Speak to yourself with intention. Set the tone before anything else gets a chance to. Start your day from a place of strength, clarity, and purpose. You're not trying to become someone else. You're becoming the strongest version of who you already are. Let your words reflect that. Let your actions follow it. And let each new day be proof that growth is possible. Change is real and your life is still unfolding in powerful ways. Thank you